on social media by Brandon Aiyuk. He's not at the 49ers minicamp training with the team. He's training on his own, and his message, 5th day of OTAs. So he's doing his own minicamp here. There's buzz around the future of Aiyuk. Kyle Shanahan talked about the chemistry building between Brock Purdy and the guy they just drafted in the first round, Ricky Pearsall.
It's been fun to watch both of them. I mean, I know, Brock doesn't always get to watch how the route gets there, but he knows when guys end up in the right spot and they catch it. That's where quarterbacks get comfortable, and I think he can feel that with Ricky right away. I mean, he's been getting to the right spot, and when he has made mistakes, he understands it and corrects it, and I think that's why those guys are going to have a lot of fun working together.
This system is a quarterback's dream. So much fun. Look at the pass catchers here. Proven commodities with Aiyuk, Debo, George Kittle, add a connection with Pearsall in the slot. Life could be pretty darn good for Brock Purdy. And we haven't even mentioned the newly extended Christian McCaffrey. We will get to that in a moment. But back here with the fellas, Lewis, when you look at the group here, how does Pearsall fit, and what does it mean now for the future of Aiyuk and Debo as 49ers?
Yeah, look, I think Ricky Pearsall is a three-position player. Really, he's a four-position player. He can play both outside spots. He can play the slot. He can line up in the backfield and run routes from there. Who does that? Who's the guy who's a utility guy like that for San Francisco? That's Debo's role. So quite honestly, look, you have to figure that John Lynch was thinking ahead. Kyle Shanahan was thinking ahead. We have to have a guy who can fill those multiple positions. They drafted another guy in the 4th round in Jacob Cowing, who no one's talking about right now. But Arizona, this guy is just lightning in a bottle. He's another guy who can work the interior of the field between the numbers with blazing speed, great separation, great hands, run after the catch. To me, it sounds like they're preparing for, look, if they're preparing for the eventual exodus of one of these guys, to me, it sounds like they're preparing for the eventual exodus of Debo Samuel. Because Brandon is more of an outside lane guy who can win down the field one-on-one. That's my read on it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you look at the odd man out in San Francisco based on where they are, it's got to be Debo Samuel. And there's nothing against Debo because Debo has been electric. But a lot of what Debo has done has been schemed through and schemed up by Kyle Shanahan. And I get it. He's a tremendous athlete. But think about all the toss sweeps with him playing tailback, the wide receiver screens, the little jet sweeps, getting him the football. Lewis, you talked about in the first segment with the Cowboys. This is a receiver league trying to get big plays going down the field. Well, if that's the case, you need a receiver that can get down the field and get vertical. No longer are we trying to throw these little jet sweeps. We're trying to throw the football 15, 20, 30, 40 yards down the field. And quite frankly, that's not Debo's strong suit. Ricky Pearsall is a guy, you go back to the University of Florida, we all know him for the acrobatic catches, and he made a ton of them, but he can run all the routes. He is acceleration in the bottle. He will be able to open this offense up even more. And with the signing now of Christian McCaffrey to an extension, you can see where this offense is going to go. It's going to be pick your poison, okay? Either you're going to stop the run and stop McCaffrey, or we're now going to be able to line up. If you play a single high safety, assuming Aiyuk is there, Aiyuk and Pearsall will be able to route run you to death and get open. And now all Brock Purdy got to do is play action pass and throw the football down in one-on-one coverage. So I love what they're doing. They're creating chunk plays by bringing in a guy like Ricky Pearsall, and they're making the game a lot easier. Oftentimes, the 49ers, it was too difficult for them to score with Debo because it was like we got to plod and plod and plod down the field. Now, I can see this offense becoming way more explosive, guys, and that's a scary sight for the NFL.
Yeah, Pearsall's so versatile and so tough at that position. And if you're going to watch him, 49ers fans, get ready to see a guy who's wearing pants, but it looks like shorts because he pulls those knee pads all the way up to right underneath his thighs, and it makes him actually look faster and longer. Just enjoy it because the kid
They
can
call
do it
those
all.
6-inch shorts, Kev. That's what we wear down in Florida, 6-inch shorts.
Do you notice, Lewis, he's saying we? There's no way we will see Boog in 6-inch shorts. I don't want to.
I want to see you. I want to see you, or maybe I don't. You're right. Maybe I don't want to see you in
we
them.
don't
But you know what? Go ahead and put them on.
Don't encourage it, Lewis, because we're just getting started here on NFL Live. We don't need to see 6-inch shorts. Second overall pick, Jayden Daniels getting his share of reps, looking sharp during Commanders' OTAs and Cliff Kingsbury's offense. First-year head coach Dan Quinn on the 2023 Heisman winner.
The situation work we've been working really hard on, and so some of the timing and mechanics are different from college in a 2-minute setting than it is in the NFL. And so to see every day him going through those mechanics at a 2 minute. So the other day of, at the end of the half, working down in a clock situation where it's still moving on a first down. And so like that type of urgency. And so seeing him being comfortable in that environment, I would say that's one example of many that shows the work that he's put in there.
Not a long track record of Washington playing rookie quarterbacks in season openers. The Commanders franchise has only done it 3 times since 1950, and RG3, the only one in the Super Bowl era. Lewis, and back here with the guys, you hear what Quinn was saying specifically with Daniels impressing in the 2-minute drill here. When you hear that, what kind of expectations do you have Daniels in this offense over the next 3 months when it comes to leading up to the season opener?
Look, it's hard not to get super excited, Kevin, about Jayden Daniels, and I think everyone knows how I feel about him and how he accepted the challenge at LSU, mastered it, became the Heisman Trophy winner. He's going to accept the challenge now of playing on a football team where 3/5 of the offensive line is going to be new. They have, one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the NFL, and Terry McLaurin. Jahan Dotson is a playmaker in his own right. They draft Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State, who's a fantastic athlete at tight end, and they got Austin Eckler. So he's got some help and a developing offensive line. So those things have to kind of work around him. But as far as himself and what he is doing, look, you've seen some of the clips that the Commanders have put out there in terms of some of the throws that he has made already in OTAs, and it's spectacular. And I've had correspondence with people down there who have said, look, very rarely does the ball hit the ground. He puts the ball exactly in where it needs to be put. He can throw with touch. He can throw with velocity. He is a student of the game, and he is someone, I think most importantly, Kevin, that the players will gravitate towards already. They want to be around him. They want to be accountable to him. They want to do better for him. That's pretty damn cool. He is going to take that town by storm as everything else around him grows along with him. I have 100% confidence in that.
Well, listen, you heard Lewis talk about all those examples, and you heard Dan Quinn talk about how many examples of there are where situations were that Jayden Daniels impressed. And so this job is setting up for Jayden Daniels to win, to be the opening day starting quarterback, and they've made it that way too. They already had a lot of talent on the offensive side of the football, and if you look at the coaching staff that they put in place, at least 5 of the assistant coaches on the offensive side of the football have directly coached quarterbacks at some point in their past. They're all experienced in working with quarterbacks. They're all invested in making Jayden Daniels shine. He's got the ability to do it, and it's setting up for him to be able to show that on opening day to become the face of this franchise moving forward.
Boog, this is an LSU to LSU question. When we watched Jayden Daniels on film all last season, he can move. And that is something he's going to need when you look at this offensive line. What concerns do you have about the guys protecting him?
Well, there's always concerns, especially about this offensive line, but I think it's important to know that Jayden Daniels, his athletic ability will buy this offensive line some time. And another thing, Kev, his ability to get rid of the ball as quick as he did. Let's understand, he was the ultimate playmaker at LSU last year. I mean, he had to make plays up and down the field. He had to make plays in and out of the pocket, and all he did was do it over and over, time and time again. His poise in the pocket, because he wants to be a pocket passer, will allow him to get rid of the ball quick. His motion is compact. He delivers the ball accurately. But if and when this offensive line does break down, I think that's when we're going to see what some compare to the second coming of Lamar Jackson. Because let me tell you, Kev, he is electric when he gets out of the pocket. The only thing he has to learn is you can't take big hits. Slide, get out of bounds. Sometimes he's too confident in that athletic ability.
Yeah, and he will have a reality check in the NFL on a Sunday, especially in the opener if he plays, and he doesn't do that slide. You bring up Lamar Jackson. Lamar's done a phenomenal job of protecting his body and fully aware of sliding at the right time. Patriots continuing their OTAs under first-year head coach Drake Maye. When they drafted Drake Maye 3rd overall in April, the vibe felt like they were taking things slow with the Carolina quarterback. Maye currently taking second-team reps. New OC Alex Van Pelt on the rookie.
You know, we always talk about earning your reps around here. So as he continues to grow and have successful practices and start stacking those, then we could think about moving him up the depth chart. When those decisions are made, and it'll be made together, as a group with Elliott and Coach Mayo. But when that time comes, we'll see. But there is no timetable on when that time comes. Jacoby, again, is our starter, and he's playing excellent football for us in the spring. And Drake is coming on.
I think it's a battle. Me and Jacoby and Bailey, we're battling. So they're mixing up who goes with who each day. And it's not necessarily, hey, you're going first, you're going second. Jacoby's getting first, and then from there we're just playing by ear. Obviously, it matters how you do it. When you're in there. So that's what happens.
Bailey referring to Bailey Zappi. You're back here with Lewis, Booger, and Shefty. So, Lewis, when Maye's taken second-team reps, what does that mean to you?
Look, Gerard Mayo already has stated, and Alex just alluded to it, that what you do with the reps that you get initially will have a direct correlation to how many more reps you wind up getting in the future. And the fact that they're giving him second-team reps tells you he's doing something with the reps that he's already gotten. And namely, that is he's mastering them, not having repeated mistakes, and he's continuing to build and grow. And look, they have their eye on the future too. I mean, you didn't draft him in order for him to go ahead and just continually take reps behind Brissett and Bailey Zappi. They're getting him ready for the future, and they also want to get him running with the guys who they know are going to play an integral role in this offense, namely the wide receivers. Guys like Jalen Polk, guys like Javon Baker. You want to get him live, well, not necessarily live, but you want to get him 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 reps with those guys, because those are the guys who he's going to be throwing to. It's the same thing they did in Green Bay with Jordan Love. It's the same way you bring him along. You earn more, you give him more. He's going to be in there. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it sounds like he's starting to put the gas, he's starting to press the accelerator, so to speak, on terms of his development and say, hey, look, Alex Van Pelt, Gerard Mayo, Elliott Wolf, I need to be in there a little bit more, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool to see. I think the more reps he can get, the more times he can get under center, call the cadence, take the drop, and do all those different things, I think the better for him, because we know that Drake Maye is the future. But I think when you look at the macro picture, the bigger picture for the Patriots, it comes down to this. Are we trying to win games now? Because if that's the case, Drake Maye will not start the season as a starting quarterback. Or are we preparing for 2025? Because if that's the case, then it doesn't matter who you put at quarterback. You may as well go ahead and put Drake Maye in there so he can get ready and get all the reps he can go. I think that's the ultimate question that Elliott Wolf, Gerard Mayo, and the Patriots organization have to ask themselves. Are we willing to deal with the growing pains in 2024, even if that means going 4-13, even if that means being the laughingstock of the league, even if that means picking number 1 overall, realizing that we will be better off for it in 2025, because you can't do both. You're not going to be able to try to win games and also groom Drake Maye. You got to figure out what you're going to do. At some point, they have to make that decision. I would do it sooner than later, but it's not my choice.
Well, you say sooner rather than later, but the truth of the matter is they don't have to rush to put in Drake Maye before he's ready. If you spoke to personnel people around the league, they all believe that Drake Maye needed some time to get ready, to learn systems, to move on up before he was ready to play again. And so the Patriots went out and signed the perfect quarterback to hold down that position until Drake Maye is ready, because Jacoby Brissett can be a solid, successful starting quarterback in this league. He's already proven that, and he's done it even in New England. They know what they're getting, and so he will hold down that position until the time is absolutely right and they feel completely comfortable with the idea that Drake Maye will wind up playing. And we may not see Drake Maye until the end of the 2024 season.
Yep.
Now, keep in mind, the Patriots historically haven't used a high draft pick on a quarterback in a very long time. Maye's only the third quarterback they've taken in the top 3 in the last 60 drafts, joining only Drew Bledsoe and Jim Plunkett.